welcome back to my video, and in this video we are gonna create a beautiful animation loading page, and we are gonna using React to create that. And basically this is the final project we want to create in this video. And as you can see in here, if I click the get cat button, we have a animation. Okay, we have a loading animation. Basically we have two loading animation. The first is I call that loading, and second is I call that done. Okay, and after that we fetch the image from let's see in here, random cat API, which is rs.random.cat/meow. Basically this is a link give us a random cat image, so we're using this API to get random cat. Okay, let me show you again. We have the loading, first loading, second loading, and the image as well. Okay, so basically the loading I get from the Lottiefiles.com, and you can search for loading. Okay, so basically what I'm using is this animation. You can use any animation you want. You can download the JSON format in here if you want this. If you want this animation, of course you can choose whatever animation you want, and a lot of this is free. Okay, and for the done animation, I'm search for done, and I believe what I'm using is the first animation, maybe this animation. Yes, this is I'm using. All right, so let's close the Lottiefiles. Let's stop the final project. Close that out. I create React app in this folder, which is React loading page folder. Of course, you can type in. Let's open the excuse me, terminal. You can type in npx create React app and dot, meaning you create React app file in this folder. I'm not going to doing that because I have already done. So what I'm doing now is run the server. So npm start. So let's close that out. Let's go to the, where is that, app.js. All right, so this is create React app look like by default. So let's hide the terminal. All right, so the first is let's remove the header, everything in header tag, and let's do just h1. Let's say hello, save. And what we need to do is just remove the SVG logo and go to the source folder, and I want to remove the logo SVG right here. So delete that. And I like to go to app.css, and I want to remove the everything style in here. So save, and here we go. Basically I like to using arrow function, so let's create a cons app gonna be equals to arrow function. Okay, so we need to import use state and use effect. So in here, let's create a variable called cat and set cat. Gonna be equal to not set. Use state, and we paste in data. For now, it's empty. All right, so down here, let's use effect function, and inside in here, what I want to do is run function called get cat and send the empty array as well. All right, so let's create a get cat function. So const get cat is going to be equals to arrow function, and inside in here I want to using set timeout, so let's do that. Set timeout, and I want to set time to 1200 millisecond. So we need to fetch data from API, so I'm using fetch. Of course you can use Axios if you want, doesn't really matter. So the link is gonna be, let's grab the link. And then response, respond.json. And then we have the data. Okay. For now, let's console.log. Okay, save and go to the browser and inspect element, and let's see the console. Let's go to console, and now we have, let's go to file, data.file, save, and now we get specific URL for the cat image, and here we go. Okay, so every I reload this browser, we have a different image. Okay, so that's what we want. But in here we don't need just console log, so let's remove that. So what we need to do is send the URL image to this cat variable. Okay, so how we do that? We can use set cat in here. So let's do that. Set cat, and what we need to send is data.file, which is this link. All right, and let's see in the browser. Let's go to the components, app, and now we have this link. Okay, so let's create another state in here. Const done, set done, it's going to be equal to set, not set, use state, and we need to send the undefined. So let's go to the return in here. Let's remove the h1, and what we need to do is create a h3, and the text is gonna be get random get image by click button here. So let's create button. It's not autocomplete. What's happening? Okay, so get cat. Let's save that and see what we get in the browser. Okay, that's what we have. Right, so let's create a div with the class. Let's create a div with the class name get picture. Alright, it's not autocomplete again, so thank you so much, Emmett. So let's go create a div. In here, let's say class name. It's gonna be equals to get this picture. Right. So in here, we need to do is just create a if statement, right? If done is undefined, we need to run this. If not, meaning is true, we need to run this. Okay, so let's make it that look like this. And in here, what we need to do is create a paragraph. Create a paragraph and say loading dot dot dot. And in here, what we need to do is create a img tag. Whoa. And give a source. It's gonna be equals to, we need to grab the cat variable, which is right here. We have the data from the fetch. We set the cat to data file, which is the link. All right, so now cat have a value which is link, which is image link, so we can put in here cat like that, and let's give it alt. Yes, cat. Okay, so now save and let's see what we have. Now, as you can see, we have loading because now we set the done variable to undefined. So what we need to do now is when we success fetch data from this API, we send a URL to this cat, and as well we need to send true value in this done variable. Okay, we need to change this to true. So in here, let's say set done, we need to send true. Okay, because if true, we run this image. If false, we run this loading. Okay, so now let's reload that. We have loading, and after that we have the image as well, so it's work. Cool. So basically the image is so really bigger in here. I want to just styling that a little bit. Let's do an image tag. Let's create a style. Let's do in here get image. No, let's get image. And what we need to do is create the styling. So the first is I want to create a variable called what's in here, get image. Get image is going to be equals to, let's set the width to 100 pixel, no 100%, comma, and let's give a height 3D RAM, say object fit to cover, and give a just border radius to 5 pixel. Okay, so now save. We have loading, and after that we have the image. Okay, so far so good. Let's make it a little bigger. Okay, it's it's so really bigger because we don't styling the container as well. Let's add style in here. Style is gonna be equals to get container, and in here let's create the get container. It's gonna be equals to, let's give a maximal width to 3D RAM and give a margin to RAM top and bottom and auto for the left and right. So we need to everything and center it. Oh yeah, in a JavaScript we need to using camel case, so maximal width, and no, it's not work. Get container is not defined. Oh really? Get container, save, and I hope that work. In here we have a loading, and after that we have the image as well. Awesome, that's what we want. All right, so now, yeah, let's just styling the button and the text, the title as well. Make it a little bigger. Let's give a style. Style is gonna be equals to, let's give a margin top to RAM, and on the button let's give a style as well. It's gonna be equals to btn style, and let's styling that in here, cons btn style, and it's gonna be equals to, let's give a background to blue, padding 0.5 RAM, 0.5 RAM for the top and bottom, and 1 RAM for the left and right. Need to insert in here on RAM. Cool. So let's remove the border, say none, and let's make it that uppercase. So text transform, say uppercase, and give a font weight to bold. And change the text color to white. And of course the cursor, it should be pointer. All right, save, and now let's see what we have. I want to make it everything in center, so let's go to app.css. What is that? App.css, and let's grab the app class and make it everything in center. So text line center. Okay, so save and close. So now we have everything in center. So cool. So what we need to do now is, when we click this button, we need to run this get cat function. So let's, where is the button in here? So let's listen for click event. It's gonna be equals to get cat. Okay, save, and now every we click this button, we get the response. Okay, so we have loading, we have the image, and if I click again, it's not work. Yeah, we have the image, but you don't have the loading. So what the problem in here is because the done in here is gonna be always true because we set that to true. Okay, so now what we need to do is make it that undefined again. So let's copy that and paste outside the set time out and make it that undefined. Save, and now let's see in the browser we have loading, and what happened in my laptop? Maybe my internet connection or something. Let's reload that again. I hope that works. Oh no. We have loading and we get the image. That's so funny, guys. Let's click the get cat button. We have the loading right now, and after that we get the image. So far so good, but what we need to do now is we don't need just, you know what, just create a loading something like this. We need to create another file. So let's create a file called loading.js. Save, and let's create a functional based component. Why it's not work? Yeah, it's not work. I'm sure typing everything from scratch. Import React from React. Let's create a function called loading. It's gonna be equals to arrow function, and it should be return JSX. So in here, let's create a div, and let's give a style that it's gonna be equals to, let's give a margin top to 10 RAM. So what we need to do in here is we need to just doing the same thing what we did it before. So loading dot save, and let's import the loading in here. So import loading from loading.js, not just loading. And what we need to do is change this to loading. What? Okay, so now save, and it should be loading does not contain default export. Oh yeah, you don't even export that. So export default loading. All right, so save, and now I hope that work. We have loading, and oh, come on, man. So let's reload that again. I hope that work. We get loading, and we get the image. No. Why are you doing this? All right, so let's see. We have loading and get an image. Click again, we get the loading and the image as well. Okay, it's work. So now what we need to do is, I'm gonna show you in here. What we need to do is install React-Lottie, which is animation what we want to use now. So let's go to the terminal and npm install React-Lottie. Alright, so it's done. And what we need to do next is let's copy paste our JSON file, which is the animation, and put in source folder. And what we need to do in here is just import Lottie from React-Lottie. And let's import the animation as well. So import everything. Need to using alias in here as loading from the file name is gonna be loading.json. Okay, just make sure I'm not wrong typing the name. Loading.json. Okay, cool. And let's copy and paste. And second is gonna be done. And the name, it should be done as well. So save, and so let's close the terminal. So what we are gonna do now is go to React-Lottie GitHub documentation, and is the link, I put link description below. And let's copy this default option and paste in here. And what we need to do is remove this animation data, and we using this loading file put in here, and we set to default. Okay, and in loading, what we need to do is using this Lottie in here. So let's remove the paragraph and Lottie. And in here, what we need to do is do options, and it's going to be equals to default options. Okay, and let's give a height to 120, and the width we set same, so 120. Okay, so now save, and I hope that work. Let's go to the browser and reload, and we have the animation. Okay, just one animation, loading animation, and after that we get the data. All right, so we need to using the second loading, which is done right here. Okay, so basically we just need to copy this default option and paste in here, and let's change to default option 2, and for the loop let's set to false. Okay, and before that let's go to the app.js, and we need to create another use state in here. Let's copy and paste, and let's change here to loading, and of course it's going to be set loading, and for the default let's set to undefined. Okay, so cool. Let's scroll down, and what we need to do is let's change this to set loading. Need to capital L in here, set loading. And what we need to do now is create another set timeout. Set timeout, and we need to send maybe 1000 millisecond, which is 1 second. And in here, after 1 second, we need to set done to true. And of course, we need to make that back to undefined. So set loading set to undefined. All right, so now let's send this loading, which is now is undefined. Let's send to this loading. So what we need to do is loading. It's gonna be equals to loading. Okay, and save. Let's go to loading, and in here is a parameter called loading as well. And of course we can console.log that, so you can see what's happening. So save. Where's my browser? We get undefined and true because in here for the default is set to loading undefined, and in here we set that to true. Okay, and every we click the button we set that to undefined again, and after 1200 milliseconds we set that to true. Okay, it's so really hard for me to explain because English is not my first language, but I hope you learn something new in this video. All right, so we don't need just console.log in here. What we need to do now, just create a if statement again. So let's just cut everything in here, and we need to do is if loading is undefined, we need to run this, and if true, we need to run this. Okay, just make it that little something like that. We need to run default option for the first time, which is the loading animation, and second we need to run the done animation. Okay, so let's go down, and what we need to do is just copy everything in here, paste here. Let's change to default option 2. Okay, so now save, and let's see what we have. Reload, we get the loading, and after that we have done, and we get the image. Oh, it's so cute. Let's close the console and let's see what we have. We are gonna run that again. Loading, done, image. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. And I'm so really appreciate if you want to click the subscribe button, because I just starting my YouTube channel, and yeah, I think that's it. So bye.